Welcome to British Focus, your go-to channel for everything happening in the UK. Today, we bring you exclusive coverage of a massive march in support of Tommy Robinson, as thousands of British patriots took to the streets, marching towards Downing Street. This demonstration has sparked widespread debate, and in this video, we will take a closer look at the scenes from the protest, analysing the scale of the movement and the messages being sent to the government. For those unfamiliar with Tommy Robinson, he has been a controversial figure in British politics, known for his outspoken stance on immigration, freedom of speech, and law enforcement. His supporters believe he has been unfairly targeted by the establishment, and today, they are making their voices heard loud and clear. Before we dive into the footage, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to British Focus for more in-depth analysis of the biggest events shaping the UK. Now, let's take a look at what happened on the ground.
Go. Quite a lot of them. I didn't think there'd be this many, to be honest.
Jump in.
Yeah, okay.
We got the Reform UK flags as well over there. Very well organised as usual. Also, these guys are having so much fun. Get the flanks, Call of Duty, get the flanks. There's a t-shirt saying thank you Elon Musk. Thank you Elon. Oh, yeah. So we got the Reform UK flag over there, lovely. The banner about Tommy. Of course, those heroes who fell so we could have our freedom today.
Thousands of British patriots gathered in central London, marching towards Downing Street in a show of unwavering support for Tommy Robinson. The sheer scale of the demonstration took many by surprise. What was expected to be a relatively modest gathering quickly turned into a massive movement, with streets packed shoulder to shoulder, banners flying high, and voices united in one clear message: we want Tommy free. Now, let's take a step back and look at what this means. A protest of this size does not happen by accident. It reflects a deep frustration, a sentiment brewing among many who believe that their voices have been silenced, their concerns ignored. Tommy Robinson has long been a divisive figure in British politics. Some see him as a necessary voice against issues others won't dare to touch, while his critics paint him as dangerous. But here's the thing, whether you agree with him or not, you cannot ignore the movement he has created. Looking at the footage, it's striking just how organized and coordinated the march was. This wasn't a chaotic scene of anger and violence, as some might have expected. Instead, it was a powerful, peaceful demonstration of people who simply want their voices to be heard. Flags of Reform UK waved in the air, a symbol of the growing frustration with mainstream political parties. Banners in support of free speech and Tommy Robinson were carried proudly, as the crowd made their way towards the heart of British politics. And let's talk about the chants, because they weren't just random shouts. They had a clear target. Out, 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 echoed through the streets, a demand aimed at those in power, those who many in this crowd feel have betrayed the values of the country. The energy was electric, the determination evident. And then, something interesting happened. People started chanting, "Thank you, Elon Musk." Now, why would Elon Musk's name be heard at a march like this? Well, it's no secret that Musk has positioned himself as a champion of free speech, especially since his acquisition of Twitter, now X. Many in this movement feel that the media and social platforms have worked against them, silencing their views, deplatforming figures like Robinson, and suppressing discussions they believe should be had openly. The gratitude towards Musk highlights this belief that he, unlike other tech leaders, is at least willing to allow open discussion. The overall atmosphere of the march was something that stood out as well. This wasn't an event filled with riots or destruction. It was a gathering of people who genuinely believe they are fighting for a cause bigger than themselves. They weren't just there for Tommy Robinson, they were there because they feel something is fundamentally broken in the country, and this was their way of showing they won't be ignored any longer. So, the big question is, will this protest actually change anything? Will the government take notice? Or will they, as they have done in the past, simply dismiss it as another gathering of so-called extremists? The reality is, whether you support Tommy Robinson or not, this level of public demonstration is a sign that something in Britain is shifting. People who once might have stayed silent are now willing to take to the streets, raise their banners, and make their demands known. And that, in itself, is a significant moment in British politics. The real test now is how the media and politicians will respond. Will they listen? Or will they try to discredit this movement as they've done before? Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you believe this protest will have a real impact? Is the media being fair in how they portray these movements? If you're enjoying this discussion, make sure to like the video and subscribe to British Focus for more coverage on the most important issues shaping the UK today. Other news now, and this one is truly heartbreaking. The bodies of two missing sisters, Eliza and Henrietta Huey, have been recovered in Aberdeen, marking the tragic end to a mystery that has gripped the local community. The twins, both 32 years old, were last seen in the early hours of the 7th of January, captured on CCTV walking near the River Dee at around 2 a.m. What makes this case particularly unsettling is that just hours before their disappearance, they informed their landlord that they would not be returning to their rented flat. However, they never mentioned anything about this to their family. Now, let's think about that for a moment. Two women, seemingly vanishing without explanation, leaving behind no clear signs of distress or trouble. They didn't tell their loved ones they planned to leave, nor did they give any indication of where they were going. Why the secrecy? Why inform the landlord but not their own family? These are the questions that have left investigators and the public alike scratching their heads. The search for the sisters took a grim turn when, at around 8 a.m. yesterday, police discovered a woman's body in the River Dee. Later that night, at 9:05 p.m., a second body was found near Victoria Bridge. Although official identification is still pending, Authorities have confirmed that the Hui family has been informed, suggesting a painful confirmation is only a matter of time. And here's where things take an even more puzzling turn. The police have not found any immediate evidence of foul play. This raises even more questions. If this wasn't a crime, then what happened? Was it an accident? A tragic misjudgment of the river's dangers? Or was there something deeper at play? One detail that stands out is that the sisters had visited the same bridge the day before they vanished. Why? Were they scouting the location for some reason? Were they meeting someone? It's a chilling detail that investigators will no doubt be looking into very closely. In response to the disappearance, a full-scale search operation was launched, including police helicopters, marine units, and dog teams combing through the area. The scale of the response shows just how seriously authorities took the case from the very beginning. But despite all these efforts, the reality is no one truly knows what happened that night. Their brother, Joseph Hui, has expressed his complete shock at their sudden disappearance. According to him, there were no signs that they planned to move out or leave behind their lives in Aberdeen. He was completely unaware of any such decision, and he finds it deeply strange that they chose to inform their landlord but kept it a secret from their own family. And here's the thing, when people make drastic life changes, they usually tell someone. A sibling, a close friend, a parent. The idea that both sisters would simply vanish without a word to their loved ones just doesn't add up. Were they afraid of something? Running from something? Or someone? Now, let's consider some possibilities. One theory is that they deliberately disappeared, perhaps intending to leave their old lives behind. But why, and why this way? Another theory is that they met with an accident, maybe falling into the river, misjudging its currents or depth. But if that's the case, what were they doing near the water in the first place? And why at that hour? Of course, there is also the unsettling possibility that there was external involvement. Could someone else have played a role in their disappearance? Could there have been a confrontation, a third party involved in those final moments? The lack of obvious signs of foul play doesn't rule out something more sinister lurking beneath the surface. For now, the police continue to treat the case as a missing persons inquiry, but that could change as more details emerge. If this was an accident, why did both sisters end up in the river at separate times? And if they entered the water together, why were their bodies found hours apart? Another critical aspect investigators are looking into is their digital footprint. Were they in contact with anyone suspicious? Did they send any final messages or leave any hints about their state of mind? These details could hold vital clues in understanding what really happened that night. Aberdeen, usually a quiet city, has been left shaken by this tragedy. The local community rallied together during the search efforts, with many volunteers helping authorities comb through the surrounding areas. The case has touched many, not just because of the mystery surrounding it, but because it's a stark reminder of how fragile and unpredictable life can be. For the Hui family, the pain of not knowing what truly happened will be one of the most difficult things to endure. Losing a loved one is already devastating, but when that loss comes with unanswered questions, it only deepens the grief. So, what do you think really happened? Do you believe this was a tragic accident? Or do you think there's more to this story than meets the eye? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, make sure to like this video and subscribe to British Focus for more updates and in-depth coverage of the stories that matter. Stay informed, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.